This one's gonna be weird. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dave from Chase the Summit, and if you didn't know me, I'm a huge freaking nerd, okay? I talk about a lot of smart watches, GPS watches, but all from the perspective of a runner, somebody who runs every day, basically, and enjoys a fine piece of technology on my wrist to record those runs, to sync with Strava, to get the kudos. You know what I'm talking about here? Anyways, much like a lot of you, I watched the Apple launch event for the Apple Watch Series 7, the iPad, the new iPhone, all those things, but specifically I was looking for really exciting things in the Apple Watch Series 7. You can see here, I've got an Apple Watch Series 6 on my wrist, and I really like this device. I've got a review about it on my channel if you want to watch it, but it does have some shortcomings from like a fitness and runner's perspective. So while I was sitting there sipping my coffee, watching this launch event, I took a series of notes and I wrote them down, and now we're gonna go through them one by one and talk about them in this video and how it affects me as a runner and if it will affect you as a runner. Before we get into this list, if you find this sort of nerdy tech talk interesting, please give me a thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos like this in the future. I don't really do these videos often. I like to have real hardware in my hands, but it seems like that the Apple Watch Series 7 is kind of a long ways off because they didn't really put a date out there. So I figured I'd just talk about it because maybe you'll be interested. If you're not interested, don't watch this video. Let's start going through some of the features of the Apple Watch Series 7 and how they relate to me and if it will benefit us as runners. So I'm just gonna list off the feature and then we'll kind of react to that feature after that. Does that make sense? Let's go for it. Keep in mind, this is totally unscripted and off the cuff. I just hit record and I'm gonna be talking, and yeah, this is kind of like real life. Kinda. Okay, so let's talk about the actual form factor of the Apple Watch Series 7. It doesn't seem all that changed to me. I was hoping that they leaned towards that like iPhone design with like a flat top and squared off edges. I think that would have looked really different and unique and kind of cool, but they stuck with the old Series 6 design where it's kind of rounded off. They've got fillets and rounds on basically every surface of the watch. So it's all subjective. It could be good or bad. In my opinion, I was hoping for more of a bold move. Moving from there, we go on to the display where they've increased the size of the display relative to the watch quite a bit. So they really opened up the display right to the edges of the watch, which in theory is good. We all want bigger displays. One thing I did notice is that on the edges of the display, it looked like words could actually be cut off if the software developers didn't develop it right. Like the display is so rounded off in the corners that if there's like a little X to, leave a menu or something in the corner, it could actually get buried behind there. So we'll have to see how that pans out with software, but I'm sure they've thought of that already and I'm just the dummy sitting over here speculating. In terms of the design and display, they've actually wrapped the display around the edges of the watch. Just like on the Series 6, how it has rounded edges, the display actually goes under there, and we're gonna have to see how that affects visibility at a glance. So if you're on a run and you're trying to see your data really quickly, we're gonna have to see how that wrapped edge kind of pans out. I'm sure it will be fine, but it's another variable that we haven't seen before. The Apple Watch Series 7 also claims to be 70% brighter indoors, and I don't know what that means for the outdoors or if they just tweaked the algorithm to boost the brightness when you're inside. I don't know how that'll work out. Although I don't really have complaints with the brightness of the Apple Watch even outside because the display is just so bright you can see it in basically any situation. Another display tweak with the Apple Watch Series 7 is that they actually made it so you can fit more text on the screen, and I can't tell if that's by increased resolution or just how they're using the screen, but it'll be interesting to see how this rolls into fitness apps, like how much data fields you could put up on the screen at a given time. It'd be really cool to see developers take use of all of that extra real estate. Another design tweak on the Apple Watch Series 7 is that the digital crown and buttons actually got a little bit bigger and more pronounced. In terms of the software on the Apple Watch Series 7, it's pretty similar to the Series 6, obviously. However, it did get a couple of new watch faces. There's one with like wraparound text around the perimeter, but then there's one that I find particularly interesting that has a lot of sports and fitness applications right on the home screen with a bunch of data. Another big improvement on the Apple Watch Series 7 is going to be the crack-resistant screen, and overall scratch resistance is improved on the Series 7. So the Apple Watch Series 7 will have a crack-resistant front crystal that's also substantially thicker than the Series 6. I've never cracked an Apple Watch, and actually this Apple Watch is a Series 6. I've really beat this thing up, and so far it shows no signs of use. So these are already pretty durable, so it's good to see they're making them more durable, but I don't know if they necessarily needed to. The Apple Watch Series 7 is also IP6X and WR50 or 50 meters water resistant. That means you can go open water swimming, pool swimming, shower with it, go on really sweaty long runs in the rain without an issue on the Apple Watch Series 7. Again, the Apple Watch Series 6 is waterproof as well, and I haven't had any issues with it. So I think it's an improvement, but not a huge one. The Series 7 is also compatible with all of the same watch bands from the Series 6, so it's got the same connection point, nothing different there, and that's good to see because there's a bunch on the market, and you might even have a collection of these at home. So if you want to upgrade to the Series 7, you can use all of your old bands. In terms of the software that's going to be also available on the Apple Watch Series 6, there were a couple of updates related to sports and fitness, but they were mainly for cyclists and people who ride bikes. There's e-bike support, there's fall and crash detection on a bike, but there was nothing for runners specifically there. Now here's where things get interesting. Battery life. This was one huge letdown when I watched the live event. I was really hoping for these numbers to go up, but they just stayed the same. We're looking at 18 hours of use with the Apple Watch Series 7. That's identical to the Apple Watch Series 6. And in my opinion, in today's day and age, it's just not enough. I know these are really amazing smartwatches with crazy screens and capabilities, but I was really hoping to see like a 24 plus hour Apple Watch on the market in 2021, but that's just not happening. However, the Apple Watch Series 7 does have one trick up its sleeve, and that it's fast charge enabled. So Apple claims up to 33% faster charging, and you can get up to 80% of battery life in just 30 minutes of charging, which is really impressive. So if they can't hit that battery goal of like 24 plus hours, it would be cool if they actually came out with like a MagSafe accessory you could slip under your watch to charge it on the go. Maybe that's the solution. I don't really know. The other weird thing about the Apple Watch Series 7 is its availability. Apple said sometime later this fall, and I have to assume that's a chip shortage thing or a supply and demand thing. I don't really know, but I wish they gave more specifics on when it's going to be available. I'm sure a lot of people feel this way if they're like looking at holiday shopping lists or anything like that. They want to know what they're buying for their significant other. Yeah, it's kind of weird that they didn't give specific dates. And finally, let's talk about the price. The Apple Watch Series 7 will start at $399, which is actually the same as the Apple Watch Series 6. So that's a good thing. And with all of that blabber done, how do I feel about the Apple Watch Series 7? I don't really know. So the Apple Watch Series 7 doesn't really bring a ton of new features to the table over the Apple Watch Series 6. It doesn't feel like a huge leap, and because Apple Watch OS is available on both Apple Watch Series 6 and Series 7, I got to assume that most of the new features that are software-based are going to be available on the Series 6 as well. And that has me wondering what's going to happen to Apple Watch Series 6 pricing when the Series 7 is available. Is it going to drop like a rock? Because if that's the case, then the Series 6 is probably still the Apple Watch to get, because the pricing is going to be much more competitive than the Series 7. And in my opinion, I don't have any issues with the durability of this watch, and that seems like where they focused a lot of their design efforts. Then again, Apple is notorious for having like sneaky new features or hardware changes on devices without telling anybody or necessarily advertising them. So we could have like a really solid heart rate sensor on the Apple Watch Series 7, or like a really new blood oxygen saturation sensor that is way more accurate, or a better ECG implementation. All that stuff is to be determined until we have actual hardware to test out. So for now, all we can do is speculate and guess and wonder what this new Apple Watch is going to bring to the table. And I want to hear from you. What kind of features do you want to see in the new Apple Watch Series 7? And do you think they'll deliver on them? Let me know in the comments down below. If you found this video helpful or entertaining or fun or educational, anything, consider hitting the thumbs up button down below and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss more videos from me in the future. And like always, if you're interested in picking up an Apple Watch Series 6 or the future Series 7, I'll have them linked in the description down below, and those links do help support my channel, but they cost nothing extra to you. This video was extremely nerdy, wasn't it? Well, sorry about that. I hope you liked it. I don't know. Let me know if you liked it. Maybe I'll do more like this. Okay, bye.